and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1972A, and today's date is September 17th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Restructure Hint, We Will Never Again Be Under Their Control. Now, any way you look at it, the 45th president of the U.S. has made a massive impact on the world stage in 3 years he's been in office. Here at home, there have been a few firsts. His ongoing battle to drain the swamp is still being fought. That's a first. And Noble Gold put together their first. Their best-selling Trump 2020 Freedom Solid Silver Coin and United We Stand 10-ounce solid silver bullion bar, together in one package at a special discounted price. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use the code X22Report25 and you'll save $25 on this incredible package. So click the link below. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, as we know, the deep state, the central bankers, they're going to push like they've never pushed before. Why? Why do we see all of this happening right now? What are they so nervous about? What are they afraid of? They're afraid of losing control. And that is what is happening. Because there are rogue elements now in the positions they used to control, and they no longer can control them. They're out of their control. This is why they're going to resort to deep state tactics to get what they want, but it will not work. Why? Because those individuals that are in these positions today, they're not going to give up. They're going to fight to the very end. Because they know if they don't, guess what? The deep state, the central bank, they will win. Look at the UK, Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson's lawyers, they have told the Supreme Court judges that the Prime Minister will ask the Queen to recall Parliament if he loses BREXIT case but cannot rule out a new move to prorogue. Think about what is happening here. This is coming from Joe M. Storm is upon us. He tweeted out the following. Boris is throwing himself in front of the train. He's preparing to do a Thatcher-esque maneuver that will provoke immense fury from a sizable segment of the country, making it unlikely he'll survive as Prime Minister. It's the only way to free UK from the Fourth Reich. Think about this for a second. That these individuals, they will go to the extreme to beat the central bank, the deep state. And so will Trump. As we are watching, Trump is changing everything, draining the swamp, changing the economic landscape. And this is going to spread. Remember, when you have a spark, and when other leaders and other people see it ignite, and they see that it is working, that's when you have them join. Right now, Trump, he has reached an initial trade deal with Japan. He is making more and more bilateral trade agreements. Each piece, each trade deal, each thing that he does is part of the overall plan. The overall plan is to make America great again. And how do you do that? Well, it starts with the economy. Yes, you have to drain the swamp. Yes, you have to get rid of those individuals that are trying to destroy the U.S. But you need to have the economy strong. You need to have the people working. Think about it for a second. If you have the people working, you have them making good wages. Everyone feels good. The strength of the country is right there. The people will fight then because they don't want to lose what they have. They understand that it takes a lot to have everyone working, everyone making better wages, and having everyone feel good about what they're doing. And Trump, this is exactly what is happening. Think about all the people now across the country. Think about the black community, the Hispanic community, where the unemployment rate is going down. Think about all the people that are getting jobs now. Think about Trump continually pushing to rebuild the country by using the Federal Reserve notes to rebuild the infrastructure. It might not seem like nothing's being done, but there's a lot going on right now. Think about what the deep state, the central bankers have been doing. Everything that he's trying to do, they're doing the opposite. They're trying to bring us into a recession. They're trying to crash the economy, make people lose jobs, make people lose their retirement, make people lose their investments just to remove Trump? Think about that for a second. Think about what happened in Saudi Arabia, where their production facility was hit. Well, the oil production is right back where it was before the attack. It's like nothing ever happened. We'll be discussing a lot more of this, but this is just unbelievable. What we are watching right now is the Patriots. They are changing the entire economic landscape. Yes, we were a globalist society controlled by the central bankers. They had everything in place. They had everything the way they wanted it. They were moving to the next phase to reduce the population, to have an event to explain away the collapse. So when they were able to restart the system, they'd be able to restart it globally. That whole plan has fallen apart. That whole plan doesn't exist anymore. And now we have Trump pointing at the Fed. Every single time he tweets out, he mentions the Fed. Think about it. He mentioned, is China or the Fed the biggest enemy? When has a president ever taken the Federal Reserve, which is supposed to be working in the best interest of this country, and compared it to a country that spies, that cheats, and does all these other things? Think about that for a second. He's comparing them to China. Actually, they're much worse than China. But who do you compare them to? Q has told us that gold is going to destroy the Fed. Gold has been rising. More and more individuals, they are being indicted for manipulating the precious metal market. We know that Trump tried to put into place individuals who are gold bugs, who believed in sound money. Of course, those individuals like Kane, those people didn't make it because he really wanted Judy Shelton. That's his pick. And when the time is right, she will be nominated and she will change the structure of the Fed. She's already hinting that she's ready to change it. She came out and she said that, and this is an opinion piece, that we should pursue a more coordinated relationship with both Congress and the president to attain goals, including a smaller trade deficit. She said the framework, she hints at, of close coordination between the Fed and the White House and Congress would break down the separation that the Fed policymakers try to maintain between their judgment about the economy and the political priorities of given administration. She's calling on the Fed to say, listen, I don't believe you should be independent. I believe the White House and the Fed and Congress should be working together. Think about what she's saying here. To have the Fed and the White House and Congress all working together. Change the structure of the Fed where they're no longer independent, but they're working together with the people. This is restructuring. She's already putting it out there. Q's told us this. Let's go back to post 1194. And Anon, this is April 19, 2018, said, Federal Reserve ending? Q said, structure. The way it is today, that is what is ending. Then if we move to post 1695, there are two links, both from CNBC. Trump poised to take control of the Federal Reserve. Strategist Mark Grant Trump has a right to call out the Fed. Below this it says 2+2 confirmations. Fast. We will never again be under their control. Judy Shelton right now is hinting to everyone in the United States that where we are headed is a restructuring of the Federal Reserve. Why do you think Trump is continually pointing the finger at the Fed? Why do you think Trump is saying, who do you think is the biggest enemy, China or the Fed? Where the Fed is supposed to be working in the best interest of the American people. If he is including the Fed, that tells you that the Fed is the biggest enemy. And they do not work for the people. Who do they work for? Well, they're independent. They're a private corporation. They work for the banking system. They don't work for the people. If you look at what Q says here in post 1695, we will never again be under their control. Q is telling us right there that for a very long time, since 1913, we've been under their control. It is time to break the control and restore the creation of currency back to the people. That's where we're headed. This is what the central bankers, not just here in the United States, but around the world, with the Fed, the ECB, all the private Western central banks in all the countries, the IMF, the Biz, all the way up to the Rothschilds. This is what they're afraid of. Why do you think former Chief Dudley came out and said, listen, we need to do something, maybe even crash the economy to get rid of Trump? That is the worst case scenario for a private Western central banker. Losing control over the country. Losing control of the people. Because once they lose control, it's very difficult to get that control back. It takes a very long time. And they know once they're out, they are out. Because people don't forget that easily. Yes, it might take 80, 100 years, and people will forget, and we'll have the same thing that happened in 1913. But right now, guess what? Their time has come. It's time to remove them, because we will never again be under their control. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.